Welcome back everyone, I'm KidPlays Games, this is Eve Online, and welcome back to our insanely stupid self-sufficiency challenge. Things went pretty well in the first episode. We got some loot, including this wonderful Hobgoblin 1, which is very soon going to be able to go into our little Corvette and help our DPS big time. And the last thing we did is that we finally got enough money to buy a 75mm Gatling Railgun 1 blueprint, with which we can make an infinite number of 75mm Gatling Railgun Mark 1s. Money-wise, we have 5,220 ISK. We began the game with 5,000 ISK, so we're 250 ISK above where we were. We earned all these bounty prizes from killing tiny little NPCs in our tiny little crappy ship, and then we spent 75,000 of it on the Light Drone Operation 1 skill book, which is currently training and is 15 minutes away from finishing. And when that's done, we will be able to use our light drone, which we found as loot. And then we spent another 20,000 on getting this railgun blueprint. We also have all this various scrap. I'm just going to select all this stuff, right click and reprocess it, because we have no use for that stuff. So from that we're going to get 2,250 tritanium, 1 unit of isogen and 3 units of noxium. And there we go. And that cost us 569 ISK to do that. Ouch, that's money we can't afford. We've only got 5,000. Well, we had 5,000, we're down to 4.6 now. Now, what do we do with these minerals? We can use them to build things. If we have a look at this blueprint, right click and show info on it, and then click the manufacturing icon. Each time we do a production run of this, it will take 15 minutes. It will produce 1 unit of 75mm Railgun Mark 1. The only skill we need is Industry 1. There's a white square, which means we've already trained that. It only needs 2 lots of minerals. One of them is 231 tritanium. We have 2,500 of that. And we need 220 pyrite, of which we have nothing. So we're going to have to go back out, kill some more bad guys, get some more loot from them, and hope they melt down into pyrite, because we cannot build these guns without pyrite. Whilst we're doing that, there is something else we can do with this blueprint. As you see here, this is a material efficiency. This decreases the amount of minerals we need all the way up to 10%. And there is the time efficiency, which speeds up this time per run, and that goes all the way up to 20%. So I would quite like to do some material research to reduce the amount of pyrite we're going to have to find. So to do this, you go to the Industry UI, you click on Facilities, and then using this filter here, we want Material Efficiency Research. And this will give us a list of all the places which can do this research. This is the one which is highlighted in bright white. And as we see, there's all kinds of stations and they're owned by all different people. I would quite like to go to this Asbel. If you right click and show info, this is a player owned station, that's right. Players can build, own, operate and generate taxis from entire stations. Then this is one of them. This lovely big Asbel. Now, Asbel is an engineering complex, so that has innate bonuses to all kinds of engineering things. And this one has a role bonus, which is requirement for time and material requirements. So if we build anything, we want to build it there. The tax is only 0.2%, which is great. So let's save some money and we'll go to this Asbel. So set destination there. I'm going to take my blueprint there, which is something I don't usually like doing, but I'm going to do it. I don't usually like taking original blueprints to player-owned stations because the owner of the station says who can and cannot dock in that station, and they can block your access at any time. And then that costs you time and money to get your things back. And player stations can be destroyed, and under certain circumstances they can drop all of your stuff as loot. So that's another reason I don't particularly want to do that. What I'm going to do is right click our ship, open our drone bay, pop our little drone in there, because very soon we're going to be able to use that thing. Here we are in Botane. We're en route to the player owned station. Player owned stations are easy to see in the overview. They have very different icons to NPC stations. NPC stations are big squares. These are all different icons depending on what kind of station it is. In fact, let's not go to this Asbel, because I just realised there is a Sotio here. Now, Sotio are very, very rare in high security space. These are the largest of the engineering complexes. They can no longer be put up by anyone. So the ones that are here are the ones that are here, and they cannot be replaced. So these are extremely valuable. So let's go to the Sotio instead, because the Sotio has even larger bonuses, being a much larger station. And they've placed them right next to each other, so I'm guessing it's the same people that own them both. Let's just have a look at this thing. Huge big stations.
Docking request accepted.
Okay, this is what player stations look like inside. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. We're not here for sightseeing, we're here to do some work. So let's put our blueprint in the station item hanger, right click and use the blueprint. And what we want to do is select this diamond icon, which is material efficiency research. Okay, if we do one run, the outcome will be it will need 1% less minerals. And it will take 3 minutes, it will cost us 9 ISK. I think we can do more runs than that. How long do we think? Maybe half an hour? We'll do 4? Maybe we'll go for an hour. Yeah, let's go for 1.5 hours. So this is 5 runs. This will take it up to 5% less minerals needed. And that's going to save us quite a lot of pyrite. It's going to cost us 281 ISK. If you mouse over this, it tells you the breakdown of all the costs. Not that we care too much about that. Let's just start that. Okay, job done. And now we see here on the bottom left, science jobs 1 out of 1. We can only run one of these research jobs at any one time. As you see, there are 2 skills that let you do that, which is laboratory operation adds 1 job per skill level, and then when you get that to level 5, you can do advanced lab operation for another 5, for a total of 11 at maximum skills. But they are yellow dots, which means we're not allowed to train them, so we can only ever do one of these jobs at any one time. But that's fine. Our ship was a little bit dinged up when it came in here, so if we right click and get a repair quote, we appear to have nothing to repair, because just hanging outside the station for the few seconds it took us to dock, it automatically repaired us. That's something really nice about player run stations. Most of the time their repair services will be free, so we've been completely repaired for free. So let's pick some places to go and try and get more loot to get some pyrite to actually build the weapons. And we need more money to buy a blueprint for ammunition so we can actually fire our weapons. Building the weapons is one thing, but not actually having any ammo to fire out of them is something altogether. So let's go to resource harvesting, asteroid belts. We know this is a good place to find them. And let's go to Erme. 7 belts, 0.8, which means we'll have probably lots of little initiates to kill. See, this is kind of the scale that EVE Online works at. We're in the very starter ship, and then you can build all the way up to owning huge stations. Right, made it one jump over, nice and safe. Let's hit the asteroid belts and cross our fingers.
Warp drive active.
Where would our next destination be? Now, we went to Duanis before, but because it's 0.6, the enemies are much tougher than we were facing in 0.8. Usually in high security space, if you're in a frigate, that really doesn't matter, you can kill anything. But we're not in a frigate, we are in a civilian Gatling railgun armed corvette, so we need to be careful. We did go there and the enemies were a little bit too tough. We killed some enemies there, but there were groups of 3 that were difficult, so we had to leave. No one here. We'll move on to the next belt. Noche looks pretty good. It's only 1 jump away and it's got 15 belts, so it's 0.8. So that's what we want, is 0.8 systems with lots of belts. Then we can start looking for 0.7s and 0.6s and 0.5s after we get our drone and some guns. The drone's going to be ready in 2 minutes, which is nice. Okay, no one here at this belt. Our first victim of the day. Let's go. Nice 7,000 bounty to start the day. Come on, little ship, you can do it.
Skill training completed.
That was a happy sound. That was a very happy sound. That means we can now use drones. Oh, this dude is repairing himself. I'm not a fan of that. He's hitting us fairly hard as well. Now we've trained that skill, we can use our drone, but I don't think we're going to need it for this guy. We'll put the drones out next time That is the low shield warning buzzer. God damn, that was painful. Right, let's have a look inside his wreck. These warning sounds can be changed in the HUD settings if you go here and configure ship health alert settings. I've got it set for shield 33, armor 50 and hull 95. Capacitor really wants to be at about 30. In fact, nah, we'll put that down to 10. Right, let's have a look inside this wreck. Metal scraps, huzzah. Okay, to launch your drones, you can either click this little icon here, or you can, if you have multiple drone folders, you grab the folder you want, drag it into space. There's our little drone. Let's expand this window. This is what it looks like. Let's right click and view. Look at. Here he is. Here's our little combat drone, our little semi-autonomous robot, which will do lots of fighting for us until such point as he's destroyed. As we see, he does have shield, hull and armor. And certain NPCs will aggress your drones instead of you. But that's okay, because it takes the pressure off us, but drones are fairly fragile. To give them commands, again, you can just mouse over and click these little buttons, or you can use hotkeys. F is attack currently selected target. Shift R is return to drone bay. That's pretty much the only two you need to know about. So let's bring him back with Shift R. There he is, and back in our ship. So what has that done for our DPS? Let's have a look. Our DPS, when we mouse over it, we see that our turrets are providing 7.4, and this one drone, all on his own, is providing 10.6. And we know that we can give him commands up to 25 kilometers away, which is fine, because we target to just under 26. So as soon as we can target lock things, we can keep them at range, like a long way away, and our drone will go and do it. And before we trained Light Drone Operation 1, if we go to Character Sheet and History and Skills, we indeed trained drones level 2. So if we find a second drone, we can use a second drone, and that will give us even more DPS. That will give us nearly 21 drone DPS, which would be amazing. So all of a sudden, our DPS has more than doubled, because we found one drone. That is wonderful. Let's see if we can't find any more targets for him, shall we?
Active.
This now gives me a little bit more confidence for doing some of the compound sites, if we find any. Okay, here are some NPCs doing some mining. Now, don't attack these guys. As I said, they have the diamond in their name. Do not attack them. But I am going to attack the Serpentist Scout, and I'm going to attack it with my drone. I'm going to right click him. I'm going to select keep at range 20 kilometers. So hopefully he'll never get within range to shoot us. Let's spit our drone out. Tap F. And we get an icon telling us our drone is on the way to aggress. So let's look at the bad guy. Watch our little drone. Absolutely demolish him, because the drone does more damage than we do, and he's more accurate as well. This is going to make life so much easier. So much easier. Should really open fire with my little guns as well. Outstanding. Shift R, bring the drone back. Have a look in the wreck. So that's how life is going to be. Now, the idea with us getting railguns is that we'll be able to get our range all the way out to like 20 odd kilometers. So we'll be able to one-shot everything pretty much from where we are. And not to have to get up close and personal anymore. Right, just more metal scraps. We still have no defense, but range is our defense. As we saw, we were able to half kill that guy before he got close enough to us to start firing on us. And if we had two drones, we might very well have killed it before it got in range. That's why long range is great for player versus environment, which is player versus NPC. Oh, some wrecks. So someone else has been through here and killed some NPCs. Let's just have a look in the wrecks. It's only initiates, but you never know. They might have dropped something nice. the larger class of NPC we kill, they will drop a better class and larger class of modules, which will melt down into more and more minerals. So we're not always going to be getting 1 or 2 units of very low grade minerals from all the stuff we melt down. Things will get better. Metal scraps. And more metal scraps. Nothing worth stealing. We'll find enough of these on our own.
Warp drive active.
Oh, didn't notice that. An NPC had warped into the belt. Let's approach him. Put the drone out. If you mouse over drones in space and click this little cogwheel, there are 2 options, auto attack and focus fire. Auto attack will mean that as soon as this NPC starts firing on us, our idle drone will rush in and attack him on our own without us having to give commands. Exactly like that. And a Serpentis hideaway has spawned. So let's go and do that. An alright little drone. Made short work of that guy. What's he got in him? Metal scraps. Let's go to this hideaway.
Warp drive.
We know we can do these. We've done them before. Skill wise, we're doing small hybrid turret rank 2. Should probably rank up lots of other things as well. Okay, someone in a very high class Arthros is here again. Again, trying to farm these escalations, and a healer as well. So everyone's in on the party. And they're all... well, one of them's left. You can left with some wrecks to look in, if nothing else. That's the kind of speed and efficiency that you can get to in EVE Online. Luckily, these guys will not be patrolling the asteroid belts. Metal scraps. And some thorium charge S. That does melt down into pyrite. But we're not going to take it. We're just going to go next door to Noshis.
Warp drive active.
Good. No one else is in this belt. Let's have a go at this scout. It's another 5,000 into our ISK bank. Send our little drone to kill him. We'll just approach it because we're going to have to loot the wreck if it drops anything. It did. Good. Metal scraps. Because of course, not many enemies in these asteroid belts in this system. But we'll have a go at this one. I've plotted a destination which is 4 jumps away to Ingheens. This has a lot of asteroid belts, like 17 or 18 of them, and it's 0.7, so we should get slightly harder enemies there. Because we know we've just more than doubled our DPS by having drones. Oh, 1 drone. Okay. 2 drones now. That's good. This is a Hornet 1. This does kinetic damage, and that's good because Serpentis are weakest to kinetic damage and second weakest to thermal, so we'll now do both. So let's just dock at this little refinery.
Warp drive active.
And we'll put this second drone in our drone bay and see how much damage that's going to add. I believe it does slightly less damage than the Hobgoblin. They both say 20 damage, but the damage modifier will be slightly different. Hobgoblin damage modifier 1.6, Hornet 1.5. So it's not just that they do different damage types, they do slightly different amounts of damage, and they have different speed and tracking speed and all things like that. Very minor differences.
Docking request accepted.
But for us, this is huge. This has maxed out our 2 drone bay. We have to do this in station because we cannot do it in space. So right click, open drone bay, drag it in. 10 out of 10. Full. And that has pushed our DPS up to a mighty 27.8. From the drones, 20.5. So our turrets are now very much a support weapon. You can just run around, keep things at range at about 20 kilometers and let our 2 drones kill everything. So I'm just going to drag this Hornet 1 into our drones folder. Hey look, there's 3 combat sites here now. Let's go to this hideaway.
Warp drive active.
I am not confident about going to a refuge yet because of our complete lack of any kind of defence. We do have enough DPS to kill everything in a refuge now, but we would die before we killed everything, especially the destroyers. But hideaways we can do, unless of course the guys in the big ships come back. There are a couple of places in Evenline we can go where no one will be looking to farm these hideaways. It's in Minmatar space, because in Minmatar space the hideaways you find there do not provide the escalation site. Go drones, go! And the bad guy's dead, and he never even knew we were here. Drones have automatically aggressed. Okay, that guy's firing on us, that's not good. But the drones have automatically aggressed them. Drones are not taking any fire that I can see. Nice. This is the life as a drone pilot. It's a very zen existence. You kind of just chill out at long range and let your drones do all the work for you. I'm gonna just start looting the wrecks while the drones kill everything. What a huge difference these 2 little guys have made to our playstyle instantly. There's another one gone, and he dropped some loot as well, that's nice. I'll take that. More bad guys have appeared. Let's open this wreck. I should help my drones with my little guns. I'm going to take all that loot. Keep this guy at range. Got greedy, swooped in. Got hit lots of times. And the drones will get him eventually. Ow, my armour. Actually, yeah, ow, my armour. Must remember we have 0 defences on this ship. But again, it's a throwaway velator, so I don't care. All that much. Unless we die. Which we're in the process of doing. Drones, could you kill this guy, please? Yikes. Blimey, he was tough. Let's hope he had some good loot. Bring the drones back in before we forget them. Then we need to go and get repaired at the nearest facility. Luckily there's a player station here. And one of the refuges has disappeared as well, which tells me someone in a big ship is running those. That's good. That removes the temptation from myself.
Warp drive active.
Okay, let's go and get fixed. Ooh, this module we found is very nice. This is an ECM. ECM is a taunt used in PvP to make sure that enemy fleet members can only target you and not the rest of your fleet. But if you click the industry tab, this melts down into a ton of stuff. 2,500 tritanium, 800 pyrite, 1 megasite. That is assuming we have 100% refining, which is actually impossible to get. We have around about 50%. So you'll get half of that, but that's fine, because we wanted some pyrite. Okay, our ship is not looking too good. So let's right click, get repair quote. And luckily this particular station owner has set their repair cost at 0 ISK. So we're going to get all this stuff repaired for free. Outstanding. And just by magic, let's get out of here. Back to the belts. And what we have here is a Guidance Disruptor. This lowers the effectiveness of enemy missile weapons. Again, mostly in PvP. This breaks down into lots of good stuff. Excellent. We're actually finding some worthwhile loot. Well, that's the end of this system. Let's get on to the next one. We're not going to be stopping in Trossequare because it's 0.9 and no NPCs will spawn on the belts. We'll have a quick look in Anson. So let's go.
Warp drive active.
More bounties come in. We're 78,000 now because we're earning more than ever before. This is the largest bounty prize tick we've had because we're killing things faster. Lovely. And on the way to our next destination, I am going to buy the Thorium Charge S blueprint. Because I like thorium, it's a good mix of damage, range and capacitor use. It costs 60,000 ISK, that's okay. We have 78, so let's buy that. We'll pick it up on the way. This yellow highlight means that the destination is along your currently plotted route, so that was good. Alright, this may be a bit of a test. These are the kinds of guys I was running away from before in a 0.6. But I didn't have 2 drones then, did I? And now I do. So let's have a go at these guys. Luckily for us, it's 2 initiates and a scout. The ones I had before was like 2 agents and a something else. Let's just... I'm going to change my keep at range to 20,000. Keep them all at range. And let the drones do the work. On the initiates first, please, guys. Jolly good. Combined arms. That guy didn't drop anything, that's annoying. Our defences are holding fine. Don't know how, but they are. That's because we're pulling mad range on everything, that's why. Come on, drones, kill the initiate. Come on, you know you want to. Well, I killed the scout. Let's have a look in his wreck. And the drone's got the initiate. Didn't drop anything. Well, there's 3 bounties at least. That'll do nicely. Hey, another hornet. Wonderful. I like that. I like that a lot. This NPC is doing some E-war against us. That is what this icon here was. That was a sensor dampener. Sensor dampeners cut your maximum locking range and increases your target locking time. But when it's one ship on his own, it's not really that much of a problem. When it's a group of ships, it may be a problem. But because we have drones which automatically aggressive targets, it's really not a problem. Man, that guy's fast. I'm trying to keep him at range, but he's just faster than me, so he's able to close range. Hey, drop something.
Warp drive active.
What that guy dropped is a burst jammer. This tries to break the target lock of everything within its range. Anyone neutral with this thing, when you're in high security space, the police will teleport in and kill you, so try not to use it in high sec. Industry wise, it breaks down into lots of different things, but not very many of them. But we are picking up a decent amount of loot. Just the 2 scouts here. Here we are in the next system. And we've immediately found a group of 3, which are somewhere, which I can't see. Are they below me? No, they're behind me. Let's go. On the way here, I picked up our Thorium Charge S blueprint, and I bought the Iron Charge S blueprint. Because the Iron Charge blueprint only costs 20,000 ISK, and this is the charge which gives 60% more range. Because I figured if we're going to be using drones at long range, then we should get the longest range ammo we can, just so we can pretend we're at least helping. The DPS is probably going to be like 8 or 9, something like that, but you know, it's 8 or 9, which is more than we're doing at the moment. mean, we're doing like 7 at the moment from our guns, so upgrading the guns to only do 8 or 9, but to push it out to like 15 kilometers, it sounds like a good trade-off to me. Hey, double takedown. Lovely. We are finding lots of ammunition at the moment, which is what I like. And our 75mm research is almost done. So I'll just continue killing all the rats in this system, and we'll see how much loot we've got. And then we'll see if we've got enough to make some guns. Oh man, I got all excited then because I saw an armour repairer, but it's a remote armour repairer. This repairs the armour on friendly ships. You target it and fire it at them like a weapon, but we'll break that down into some lovely mix-along. That's the end of this system. We've hit every belt at least once. There's not much point going round. We can just move on and find another place. But I think our industry job is just about finished, yeah, 23 seconds. Let's go and find somewhere where we can buy the 125mm railgun Mark 1 blueprint. I believe that's in Caldari space, which is not too far away from where we are. If you use this search and type in JITA for JITA, which is the largest trading hub in the game, which is deep into Caldari space. We don't have to go that far. Caldari border zone will probably be enough. So yeah, Casagainen, that's where we're going. So we'll just set destination to Casagainen. Right, I'll see you when we get there, because I believe we've just had another bounty payment and we're up to 131,000 ISK. Which is not bad considering we began with 5,000. Aha! We have crossed the border into Caldari space, and lo and behold, here is the 125mm Railgun 1 blueprint. 90,000 ISK, but we need it. Where's the nearest place? Hatamo. Set destination or Junganashi? That doesn't really matter. Right, let's go and buy this. And back down our money goes again.
Warp drive active.
Something else which I really would quite like is the Repair Systems skill book, because that then at rank 1 will let us use Small Armour Repairer 1, which means we can repair ourselves in combat, specifically our armour. As we know, our shield automatically repairs itself, but I quite like to get an active armour repairer. And we're going to need, even if we find one as loot, we're still going to need the skill book to be able to use them. So let's have a look at that on the market. Under armour, repair systems, 45,000. How much do we have? 41,000. Okay, maybe we won't do that just yet. Here we are. Here is our precious. So let's take that. We're going all the way back here to pick up all this loot we left behind. And then we're going to the place where we have our blueprint awaiting to be delivered, and we'll see if we can't research this 125mm gun. On the way home, a single bounty payment of 5,000 ISK hit our wallet, and that put us up to just, and I do mean just enough, to buy the Repair Systems book. So that is what I've done. We're on our way to pick it up right now, and that means we can train for armour repairers. Outstanding. So let's right click that skill book, inject it, and without being greedy, I'm going to put that right at the very top. Just in case we find a repair system, we might not. If we don't, then we're going to have to buy the blueprint, and that's even more money we don't have. Skills wise, we're doing repair systems, then surgical strike for 3% more damage to all turret weapons. Then energy grid upgrades 2. This is simply so we can use things like Cap Recharger 1 and Capacitor Power Relay 1, because you need that skill to be at rank 2 for those. These will drop us loot, so just in preparation, in anticipation of getting those, we're going to do that. And we're going to do Galente Frigate 2 and Galente Frigate 3, which we need to get Galente Destroyer. So we're going to have to do these skills at some point anyway, so might as well do them now. And what's the easiest thing we can do after that? Probably Surgical Strike again. I wouldn't mind having Trajectory Analysis. That's longer fall-off range, which is weapon range, so that'll be good. And then we'll do Small Hybrid Turret after that, because that's another 7 hours. I just want to have a couple of days worth of skills ticking over, so I don't have to think too much about what I'm doing. I might as well do Light Drone Operation number 3, which will give our light drones another 5% onto their damage. Lovely. Okay, here we are, back in the Sotio. We have got all of our equipment and loot from our other station. So let's deliver this job. You go to the Jobs tab in the Industry window, you click Deliver, you get your blueprint back. So now, if you want to build these, it's costing 5% less, which is 220 tritanium and 209 pyrite, as opposed to the 125mm railgun. If we hold Shift and click Show Info, it will open it in a separate window, so we can do this. As we see, these things need different materials because they're more advanced. So each one of these is going to need 1300 tritanium, 473 pyrite, 103 mexilon, and 2 isogen. So maybe we will end up building some 75mm. But for now, what we're going to do is just take this and leave this place and find somewhere else to live. Because like I said, this is a player station, and player stations can get blown up and they can deny you access. And this Sotio is a very high value target, considering no one can place them in high sec anymore. So let's find somewhere else to live. This looks pretty good, because we know this system because we've played around in there, and it looks like it has manufacturing, material, time efficiency, copying, and invention, and it's an NPC station. So let's go there. We'll just live there. And here we are in our new home. So let's get everything out. There we go. Right, let's work out what we don't need to keep. I want to keep that gun. Don't care about any of this stuff, so we'll melt all that down. That's a decent amount of stuff. We're not getting any of this. See, we should get one, but because our... Oh no. Oh no, we're not living here. This place only has a 30% reprocessing plant. That is terrible. Reprocessing plants come in 2 different variants in NPC stations. There's this one, which only gives you 30%, and there's one which gives you 50%. So let's find a 50%, shall we? In fact, let's have a look at this player station. This is a refinery, and it says it's a free port, so maybe that will have better stats. This has 2% bonus to refining ore and ice, but we will be doing modules. That is not ore and ice. But we'll have a look, see what their refinery is like. This flashing yellow skull here means someone is flagged for PvP. It's either because they've stolen something or done something else that flags them, or they could have been running an abyssal filament, which are timed player versus environment dungeons. When you exit those, you come out with a timer. Right, let's try that again. All this stuff at the bottom, we need to keep the gun. Do we need to keep this blaster? We'll keep it. It's not doing any harm. Right, let's reprocess this. There we go, 50%. Now, as we see, we're supposed to be getting 1 Zydrine from reprocessing the burst jammer, but because you cannot get half of a unit of something, it rounds it down to 0, unfortunately. So anything we want to keep, we'll put back in our ship, which is all this stuff and the hobgoblin. And I think everything else can just get melted down. Okay, we can't melt it down. We don't have enough money. Oh, that's hilarious. Haven't got enough money for that either. Okay, let's not melt anything down. Oh dear, that's embarrassing. Right, we're back in the station, which has the terrible refinery rate, but it does have the full suite of industrial applications. So let's do some material efficiency research on our 125mm railgun. It's only going to cost us 874 ISK, so let's do that. Done. So we're down to 151 ISK. Not the best. I'm not going to reprocess all this until that job is done. So that gives us another nearly 3 hours to go back out and to kill as many NPCs as we can. So I think that's going to do it for today. We got lots of loot. It's not breaking down into the stuff we need, but we have earned lots of money and we bought lots of blueprints. Skills are going well. We've got drones. The DPS has gone through the roof. We're not overly worried about our defence at the moment because we know that because of the long range from the drones, we're able to stay out of danger unless everything's faster than us, which it seems to be. But we have not been almost killed in this episode, so things are going better than they were. That's how it goes at the start, especially when you're making it as difficult for yourself as I am. So come back next time and see what more trouble we can get ourselves into. Until then, do look after yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon.